Jared Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com, and we're moving into another super secret project. I wanted to do a sniff test of the kitty, but I guess he doesn't want it. We're moving into another super secret project, and that's video. That's DSLR video, because a lot of people are getting digital SLRs that allow you to capture video. So I wanted to go through, I wrote it down here, 5 things to think about when you're starting to shoot video with your digital SLR. One thing to think about is what memory cards to use, what speed cards. There's different classes. If you're using an SD card, say in the D5100, and you're doing, I'll tell you what I used in there. I used a class 10 card. It's a Lexar 32 gig class 10 card. I bought it at B&H. I know that Allen's carries Lexar as well. I've used the class 6 cards in the D7000, and that's shooting 1080, 24 frames a second. So I've used that class 6 card to capture that, and it's worked well. I haven't dropped frames or lost frames or had any issues with any of that using a class 6 card. So you want a card that is class 6 or higher, and that's because those cards are designed to accept more file sizes or more data quicker, so it can process it quicker. Plus, it will transfer it to the computer much quicker. The second thing I wrote down here is audio. Before you go and shoot your video, are you going to use the audio that the camera captured? Are you going to use audio from something like an H1 recorder that's separate? Are you going to use a microphone, a lavalier like I'm using? Or are you going to dub audio over it later, like use a song and cut the video clips to the song? You have to think of that, because the built-in audio in the camera usually isn't going to be that good. Nikon just put out a microphone. I know that Canon has some microphones. Kitty! Psst. Man, Kitty's nuts right now. But anyway, so audio is very important when it comes to video. If you're doing an interview, you're going to want to invest in some wireless, or they don't even need to be wireless microphones. They could just be regular microphones that plug into the camera through the audio input. They could be like $30 or $40 somewhere. Just get something to make that audio better, because audio is a major part in capturing video. Because if it doesn't sound good, it may look good, but if it doesn't sound good, you're no good on that. Focus. Is your subject going to be stationary and still, or are they going to be moving? Because if they're moving, you got to think about, should I be on a tripod? Can I handhold this? Can I get away with this? Because you're not going to get away with the autofocus in the camera. You really need to work on using your follow focus, using your, well, you're not going to have a follow focus, but using the manual ring to do your focusing. You're going to get used to things like that. So focus is an important thing. If you're sitting and doing an interview, you're going to want to be on a tripod. You're going to want to lock your focus in, because that's just really what you're going to do. You don't want to handhold it the whole time, because that may not work. I'm going to put in more detail later when I write up this article. Editing. How are you going to edit it? If you're on a Mac, you could use iMovie because it's free, or you could get something like Final Cut, which is more intensive. On a PC, you could look into getting any of the programs that they're like $40, $50, $60, up to $99. You can get some video editing programs to start editing your video. So you have to think, how am I going to edit this? Am I using a PC? Am I using a Mac? All of those things are going to play a part in it, because the bigger the files are in these 1080s, the 1080 video, it's going to start taking up a lot of hard drive space and a lot of RAM, which brings us into storage. So let's see, a 20-minute video that I shot yesterday from the D7000 is 2.8 gigabytes. So as you take a lot of video, you're going to have to worry about how are you going to store the raw footage. You don't really want to delete the raw footage when you're done with it, because you may need to come back to it later to do another edit. So how are you going to store your files? You need more external hard drives. You need to do more backups. It's like we do with photos. We back it up. So you're going to need to back it up, you know, do a lot more backing up with your video if you're going to shoot video. So those are 5 quick things that I think you should think about when just starting out doing video with your digital SLR. Check out the article on FroKnowsPhoto.com. It's going to go into more detail about what I think you need to focus on. Jared Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com. See ya.